System. Oh wow, sheesh, there was a lot. Before when he was in AEW, Cody Rhodes for sure. He had a lot of unfair criticism. Some was fair, but the majority of the people that was criticizing him back then when he was still there, it was like highly unfair because they viewed Cody Rhodes as somebody that's like that should be putting people over, which he did, but they kind of viewed him as like how Dolph Ziggler is now, like the gatekeeper. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, Cody's not a gatekeeper; he's a star. You know what I mean? and like people's like, oh, he never puts people over. I'm just like, what are you talking about? He put Darby over. Like,
that's what he did.
He's just like, he put Darby over. He put MJF over. He didn't need to, but he put Jericho over, and you know what I mean. He even vowed never to win the title again. He put Sammy Guevara. He put a lot of people over. Lowered himself. Like he lowered his stock, to help people up. And of course, creatively there was like some mishaps and everything, but I thought a lot of it was unfair. And people just weren't understanding what they were watching. Because I've seen a lot of opinions. I'm just like, are we watching the same thing? Are you sure? and every time, who here is familiar with King Lion in the comic book community?
I am.
Yeah. I'll be like him sometimes. I'll pull up receipts. I'll look up the video. I'm like, what? He did this here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And another person that was getting fair criticism for sure, Bianca Belair was one.
Facts.
Bianca Belair was one. I had to shut that down. And a lot of the criticisms for her was just ridiculous. I'm just like, what are y'all watching? And I had to break that down. Big E, when he was a champion, was another one that got unfair criticism.
Absolutely.
Who was another one? Those are like the three biggest ones that I got.
You know what they had all in common? All three of them were black.
I know somebody gonna bring that up. He ain't wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's Tuesday, so you know what this means. The Let Me Talk to Your podcast, is live and in full session. Wrestlemania season has come and gone, and it was a very good one. But as Wrestlemania ends, a new season begins, and just like Wrestlemania, so does this podcast. So today, we have a special guest, as you all can see. And as we go on, we will sit there and we will speak on WrestleMania. So I shall pass the liberty over to our guest to sit there and introduce himself, because I feel like he can introduce himself a lot much better than I can, because I know I will not do him no justice. So my good brother, the microphone is all yours.
What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Lou Nonsense, TikTok champion. Nah, I'm just playing. I don't do that no more. But what's good? What's good, y'all? Happy to be on.
Glad to have you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yes. So we definitely do appreciate you for taking the time out your busy day. I know it's late at night, and I know you're probably tired, just like we all are here. So again, we definitely do appreciate you for taking the time out to chop it up with us to speak wrestling. For what we know is that you also partake in the wrestling ring yourself. You dabbled in and out of it. So anything you could tell us about that?
I'm actually having my first match this Saturday, Culpeper, Virginia. for TCW, True Championship Wrestling. Up in we're based in Fredericksburg, but this time we're going to be in the ring in Culpeper, Virginia. Lou Nonsense is my social media name, but people know me as my ring name, Lucious Suede. I am the GM. I am the GM, and now I'm having my debut match, and man, I'm super excited for it. It's a dream come true. You know, it doesn't matter what the stage is, as long as I get to get in that ring and show the people what I can do. So I'm just happy as hell to be able to do it.
Hey man, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yo, who's your first opponent?
It's a tag match. It's gonna be me and the TCW International Champion Paige teaming up against somebody. I'll plug the YouTube in later, but if you can catch the YouTube, somebody who I've been pissing off a lot, B Wood, and also his tag team partner, the superstar Danny Boxley. So tag match, good way to ease my way into the wrestling ring. And soon I'll be having my first match after that. First one-on-one after that.
That's dope. So how are you feeling going into having your first match? Is there any preparation that you're doing? Any advice that you're getting to help ease your nerves in terms of preparing for your first match?
Yeah. I'm getting plenty of training in. I go up into the ring. We're up in Fredericksburg every other Sunday whenever I get a chance. Our ring's outside. When the weather's good, or if the weather's even a little chilly, I'm still gonna show up there. You know what I mean? I need to get as much training as possible. The guys, KG Red, who is the owner of TCW, him, B Wood, all of the guys who work there has showed me the ropes. They've trained me. They a lot of guys who I've been preparing. I've been preparing all this whole time, trying to make sure, you know, it's the debut. They have me in the main event. Last thing I want to do is shit the bed when I'm out there. So, taking lots and lots of preparation.
Okay, that's dope. Is there any wrestlers that you study in terms of, as you go into your first match, is there any wrestlers that you're basically studying or looking at, like in terms of how you want to go about as soon as you enter the ring? In terms of like a move set or personality-wise, anything of that nature?
Well, I could tell you personality-wise how Lucious Suede came to be. One of my inspirations of that character, MVP, Ted DiBiase, it kind of feels like a mixture of the two. Trying to put my own spin on it as well, but those were like my main two inspirations when it came to it, to the character. Far as like move set, still working on like the type of wrestler I'm gonna be. I know the moves that I know how to do and perform safely, because that's the main thing. Is, you know, as this being my first match, the number one thing is safety. I don't want to end up hurting myself or my opponents in there. But right now, I've been like, my main thing has been more of a power dude, because I'm one of the bigger guys in the promotion. So originally, you know, I wanted to be more agile, more technical. At the same time, I'm just like, yeah, I'm 32. I'm 32. I'm a late bloomer in this. I'm not as limber as I used to be, but definitely still got the athletic shape to do what I do. So I have to modify some things.
I feel you on that. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm loving that name, Lucious Suede, because both of them.
Yeah, that is a fire name.
It's just all smoothness right there.
Mm-hmm.
I need to ask you, do you still do the superb kick? I seen it in a couple.
Oh yeah, yeah, I still do the superb kick.
Let's go.
My man did it in the whole suit too. Respect.
Thank you. The funny, you know what's funny? I got the name Lucious Suede. So back, my actual name is Alusine. That's my African name. That's my actual name. The Lu. That's where I shorten it. That's where you get the Lu from. Alusine. So like back when I was in high school, one of my football coaches would be like, yeah, Lucine, and he said my name wrong, be like, Lucious, you sound like Lucious. Started calling me Lucious Jackson. You know what I mean? This is a joke. And another thing is, I heard this song like a while ago, like a long time ago. I heard this song called Suede by No Worries, which is actually my theme music.
That's
and,
dope. Wow. That's
Suede
dope.
by No Worries and Anderson .Paak. I fell in love with that song instantly, and I'm just like, hold on, Suede, Lucious. This song is dope. It has the feel that I'm looking for. I put them together.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's fire.
So it sounds like that you're starting to come into your own identity as a professional wrestler, even though you haven't had your first match. That's pretty good. Because I know that's one of the struggles, even where certain superstars, even at that high level with the WWE, they still struggle to find that who am I and how can I present that. So I commend you because you found that early before you even had your first match. So kudos and props to you, good sir.
Thank you.
I do know that you refer to yourself as a TikTok community champion. So how did that come about as well? Because apparently you're very popular on there.
Oh man, yeah. This like when the pandemic started. Obviously when the pandemic started, we were all bored. We were all in the house. We had nothing to do. You know what I mean? TikTok is one way that all of us were able to come together. So when I first started doing TikToks, I was making like random funny vids, but then I really wanted to like tap into like my fandom of professional wrestling. And one day, because I was making wrestling vids before, I was inspired by guys like X3. He was doing like the whole match card things, what match cards used to be like, and then I hopped on the trend, and then I just started doing it, and people saw my videos, and then I just kept gravitating towards my like wrestling stuff. But one day I was just bored, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna start a promo battle and see who was actually gonna like respond. So I'm just like, I'm your TikTok champion. I didn't even have the belt, the custom belt yet. So I just came out, I was just like, I'm your TikTok champion, Lou Nonsense. It's a promo battle, you know. And I was just calling like any creator who was out there that wanted to, you know, join in this thing, go right ahead and go to sleep. I wake up, I get tagged in like 100 videos. I'm like, holy shit.
Wow.
Yo, that's
So
great.
like I picked out the best ones, and I made responses to them, and then that just turned into this whole big thing where other creators, Heel Hugs and Macho Fan, they decided to actually, hey, let's start a league. They hit me up like, hey man, look, we were inspired by the whole promo battle thing. Let's, you know, we want to do an actual like promo league where with judges and things. So I did that for a while. I was a champion there, and then I lost my championship. Y'all are really familiar with him. The Professor Nick Harrison.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I lost it to him. I did this whole storyline and with him. Like, what was unique about that whole era when we were doing promo battles, which is still going on today. We were coming up with our own storylines, and like we were just, you know, pulling out the best creatively. We were talking. We was just talking good shit. And when I came back, we had a rematch with Nick Harrison. I beat him this time. I beat him the second time. All right. So, but other than that, it was a really good fun time, and that's also how a lot of us got our personas. We practiced our promo skills. Just average wrestling fans, you know, living a fantasy of ours, you know. So it's like it was fun. Even in that time, I was like using the Lucious Suede character, and I just like with the skits that I made on TikTok, the promo battles and everything, that got me noticed by KG Red, who was the owner of TCW, and he said, hey, I want you to bring that character on, and I want you to bring that character on to our promotion. And then as a general manager, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to get in the ring yet, so I took that opportunity to, hey, let me give this a shot and see. I've always been a fan. I've always wanted to do it, but all it takes is just like a leap of faith, see how it goes. And performing in front of live people afterwards, you know, just it gives you that boost of like, oh, I want to do this again. I like this. Let me keep going.
Nah, absolutely.
That's one of those very few times where social media becomes an opportunity for you to sit there and take the next level. Mm-hmm. So it's funny how the pandemic was a blessing in disguise for a lot of people, where it was a detriment, but for some it was a blessing in disguise because it promoted a talent that a lot of people didn't know that they had. Mm-hmm. It's pretty dope. So as a wrestler now, I'm pretty sure you started as a fan, right? So I know one of the things that probably would get you really agitated is sometimes when fans get a little wild and rowdy with the mouth. So how do you normally go about dealing with that? Do you just jab with them? Do you throw the insults, or do you just be like, get away from me, you peasant, or something like that?
Oh, as a heel, which I am.
That's what you got.
With a name like Lucious Suede,
I give him the energy back. Like, I haven't had an instance like. Usually, the crowd has been respectful. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. They be throwing some zingers my way. So the very first time it was out in the yard in Richmond, because over in Virginia we weren't allowed to actually have like sanctioned like events and everything. So we pretty much got the ring set up and we was in the yard. We invited like a whole bunch of people around the neighborhood that was around to watch us. And I'm over there. I'm in this blue suit, nice suit, coming out there. My very first time them seeing me, and I'm just like throwing zingers at them, and then the crowd gave me the energy right back. So one of the things they were calling me, there was like Walmart suit. I'm like, and I was just giving. And one of the lines I said to them in response was like, so this is Richmond, Virginia. Smells like broke out here. And everybody got
Yo, I'm going to use that line at work. Oh, my Lord.
And everybody, I got a lot of heat for that. So I got heat for that. But overall, I think the last indoor show we did in Culpeper, I walked out. I think someone called me the Pope. I was like,
the Pope.
I looked at him and laughed a little bit, and he's just like, I got you. I got you. You broke. I'm like, all right, you got that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the crowds are good. The crowds are really good. They never really went out of line or said anything disrespectful to me, even though I'm giving them disrespect. But yeah, it's been really good.
Oh boy, that made my day. It smells like broke. Oh boy. So when the crowd does get, again, when they do say they things, even though you mentioned they're not really over the top disrespectful, but we do know that there are in all sports, not just wrestling, but I think wrestling gets the most criticism for it. When fans are very unfair in their criticism, for you, does that come from more as a fan, or does that come from more from a wrestling perspective? Because you're on both sides of the fence.
To be fair, I'm still a baby in this game. But I've been watching and been a fan of wrestling for over 20 years. And when fans voice their opinions, it depends what that opinion is. Because if you've gone through my TikTok videos, I have like combated fans with lots of different opinions, lots of very vulgar opinions. Some are just I view as like you're foolish, or some are just like, hey man, I feel this sort of way about it, and now I'll articulate the best way I can and explain these things. But when I see a lot of because I'll go on Twitter, I'll go on Facebook, I'll see TikTok comments a lot about certain shit. When it comes to the business, and a lot of fans will go in and act like they know because they read, saw something in the news. I just like, dude, you don't know, you don't work there. You don't work there. We don't know until we know. So I try to encourage fans to like sit down and like wait for full information to come out, or don't get on here and act like you're Dave Meltzer or some shit. Like, stop. Like, I like to keep
best friend.
I like to keep people. I like to hold fans accountable for their shit, especially on my TikTok videos. But yeah, that's how I go about it.
And I would say that's one of my favorite things. Seeing you break down like why some criticisms of wrestlers is unfair and all of that good stuff. But like in your opinion, who's a wrestler that you would say gets like a lot of unfair criticism?
Unfair criticism. Oh wow. Sheesh, there was a lot. Before when he was in AEW, Cody Rhodes for sure. He had a lot of unfair criticism. Some was fair, but the majority of the people that was criticizing him back then when he was still there, it was like highly unfair because they viewed Cody Rhodes as somebody that's like that should be putting people over, which he did, but they kind of viewed him as like how Dolph Ziggler is now, like the gatekeeper. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, Cody's not a gatekeeper; he's a star. You know what I mean? And like people's like, oh, he never puts people over. I'm just like, what are you talking about? He put Darby over. Like,
that's what he did.
He's just like, he put Darby over. He put MJF over. He didn't need to, but he put Jericho over, and you know what I mean. He even vowed never to win the title again. He put Sammy Guevara. He put a lot of people over. Lower himself, like he lowered his stock, to help people up, and of course, creatively there was like some mishaps and everything, but I thought a lot of it was unfair, and people just weren't understanding what they were watching. Because I've seen a lot of opinions. I'm just like, are we watching the same thing? Are you sure? and every time, who here is familiar with King Lion in the comic book community?
I am.
Yeah. I'll be like him sometimes. I'll pull up receipts. I'll look up the video. I'm like, what? He did this here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And another person that was getting unfair criticism for sure, Bianca Belair was one.
Facts.
Oh, Bianca Belair was one. I had to shut that down. And a lot of the criticisms for her was just ridiculous. I'm just like, what are y'all watching? And I had to break that down. Big E, when he was a champion, was another one that got unfair criticism.
Absolutely.
Who was another one? Those are like the three biggest ones that I got.
You know what they had all in common? All three of them were black.
I know you're gonna bring that up. He ain't wrong.
Hey, bro.
Brother Rose.
Hey,
He ain't wrong.
Cody X.
MJF.
Cody X. Cody Luther King. He ain't wrong.
And it solved racism.
He ain't wrong.
Wrestling
I hope the fans caught that.
I hope so too. That was a good one.
Oh boy, you Rem never disappoint, bro.
You know I love y'all. The bros, man. I love Cody, man. Cody gonna get his SummerSlam, even though I still love my tribal chief.
Nah, yo, I still say my man gonna win it in Saudi Arabia. On the 1,000-day mark, yo. I still say he gonna win it. Listen.
I don't think Cody's winning.
Hey, listen, Pat, nobody cares what I'm joking.
Oh, man.
So fun fact, sometimes throughout the group, or if not just in here, there's, I want to say promo battles with a hypothetical term, they're promo battle, but usually end up as roast sessions.
Yeah.
Especially between Pat and Ron. So,
Yeah, roasted. This dude built like a Pac-Man ghost, but whatever.
Yeah.
Listen here, thick hips. I'm tired of you talking trash, bro.
He about to call him a waffle colored Negro in the minute. Just wait for it.
I'm the tribal chef, the one and only.
Tribal chef.
Oh boy. So another question I have for you. A lot of speculation that we was talking about earlier was that old Vince and Kenny McMahon is back in creative, which a lot of fans, as we spoke about, are really upset about, because when Triple H was obviously taking over, it felt like it was a wrestling show that fans could get behind again. So if somewhat, because Raw kind of felt like a Vince type of show yesterday, but we, again, as you said, we never really know. If this is true, how do you feel about that as a fan of Vince being back in creative control?
Personally, I'd be disappointed because we've seen, like, don't get me wrong, like, back then, Vince is a genius. You know, WWE would never be what it is, you know, without Vince. But creatively, he's not. It hasn't been great under him creatively. It's been a lot better under Triple H. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, Triple H is not perfect, but overall, his overall body of work so far, and also you've seen what he's done in NXT. He's a better fit for the current wave of wrestling right now, especially with the demographic that's on and what fans really look for on both either your casual or your hardcore fans. I feel that Triple H understands that way better than Vince does. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. He's on both sides of the fence. Like, you know, as both a wrestler and he's working behind the scenes as early as 2013, as early as that, or whenever Linda started running for Congress. So he was able to get that back and forth between as a performer and then as behind the scenes. So hopefully, we're going to hope this was a one and done, because I don't know how going forward that will work, especially where, again, WWE has obviously been better the last, June, July, maybe the last 8-9 months with Triple H in charge opposed to Vince. So we'll see how it goes. So as stated earlier, WrestleMania season has passed, and it was, well, for me, it was a good show. So is there any matches from either night one or night two or both that stood out to you that was the best, or any that was like, man, you really didn't care for?
Oh man. There's three, but let you know, two that stand out the most. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. I believe that was match of the night on night one. Obviously Sammy and Kevin Owens versus the Usos was great as well, but I felt that was better. The Rhea and Charlotte was a better match because I was on the edge of my seat each time, because, you know, knowing our history with Charlotte, you know what I mean, you can never doubt her as, you know, as losing a match, you feel me? So I was on the edge of my seat each time. Another one was the Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat. Oh my God. Boy, I was every time somebody got hit, I'd feel that shit.
Yeah, they went to war. They definitely went to war.
They definitely went to war.
You know, I heard that chop Walter hit on Sheamus too. I heard it too.
Hey, even McIntyre's chops, I was hearing that just as loud, almost as loud as Walter's. I'm like, damn. I'm sorry, Gunther.
Gunther. Okay. Rem, was there any matches that stood out for you, or any of the matches that I know you wasn't too pleased about, other than Bobby Lashley not getting a moment?
I don't want to talk about that Lashley spot.
That was a wild one, bro.
I know he bad about that, man. Rightfully so, though. Rightfully so.
I could have went without that women's match, the one with the women's tag match. I definitely could have went without
the showcase.
That one. Yeah, showcase. They could have saved that for like the Monday after Raw or something like that. That was a weak match. And I agree with the top two faves. You know, my favorite definitely going to be the Cody and Roman match. I'm biased.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean? We still the ones.
Hey, yo, still the ones out here. Hey,
You know,
not the dope
Like
stuff.
that.
No.
I acknowledge the tribal chief, but that wasn't the time, man. I'm sorry.
Only reason why I knew that he was going to win, and I made $20 a day off a bet. Dude came into my restaurant. I was like, "Hey, man, I owe you that." I'm like, "Good luck. I told you, don't ever bet against Roman." You know what I mean?
I told you.
So, but I called it once I seen Roman was at like 915 days, and I looked at the calendar. I'm like, he's not going to lose that Mania because he's going to break 1,000 days before he breaks and drops some titles. You know what I mean? It's only logical. That's why I'm saying, okay, Cody, go back, wrap it around, and grab the title at SummerSlam because they want to build SummerSlam into like a mini Mania type event. Well, that's what Triple H was doing. Now that El Vicentio McMahon is back.
Bro.
Vicentio.
That mustache, B.
He said Vicentio, bro.
Yo, he do look like an evil villain off of
A
television.
villain, bro.
Yo, y'all remember that cartoon from like the 60s or 70s with I think his name was Dick Dastardly, and he had to go up.
Yeah.
That's McMahon.
Yeah.
Vince out here looking like dude from Adam's Family. What's his name? Gomez.
Gomez.
He look like Gomez.
We got do-rag Vince. Now we got mustache Vince. God damn.
Oh, boy.
He's smooth, though. Bro. Your man really sold the company and got rehired in another position that nobody's telling us what the position is. Oh, Vince he rehired in another position. Like I said, he came back as Vicentio the custodian. I think he's slick, man.
Oh boy, I just thought about this, right? And Pat, I'll get to you what your matches of the night. How did Shayna and Ronda win that showcase, but then Liv and Raquel got a tag team title match opportunity?
Backwards booking. Plus, Ronda and Shayna are both hurt. Like during the match. Yeah, because during the match, Ronda didn't do nothing. I must also saw like the tape on her arm. And also during that match, I don't know when Shayna came back in, she only had like one shoe on. She was hobbling along. She hurt her ankle.
Oh, damn.
Wow, see, I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense then. Sure.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because I was like, how does that happen? Like, they lost, but then they get a match. I was about to say Vince McMahon logic, but that I go with that one a little bit more. that makes a lot more sense if they're hurt. But then again, this SmackDown Superstars anyways. But then again, so is Liv and Raquel, so it don't matter.
Vince McMahon logic got his son's legs hurt.
Oh,
yo,
you know what's wrong? Shout out to Shane. Oh boy, I mean, he had no business being in there, but shout out to him anyway. Because I don't wish injury.
Yo, he threw them punches so hard his legs popped.
Yeah.
That's wild. Shout out to Snoop for saving the whole segment.
Yeah, but shout out to Snoop too, because Snoop made that.
He hit the Compton elbow.
The Compton elbow.
The LBC drop.
Mm-hmm. I feel so bad for Shane. I felt so bad for Shane. I mean, he came out, got on the mic, get this heartfelt little speech before the match, and then that happened. I'm just like, damn.
On the biggest stage.
Because I can imagine myself. Because like you can imagine yourself being in that situation. You know how embarrassed you would feel. You know what I mean?
But how much did he get paid for that?
That's true.
Now we have a running gag in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you remember initially when that report came out with Shane when he booked the Royal Rumble over this past year?
Yeah, I heard of that.
So apparently Shane damn near almost walked away. I think it was 850,000 or something like that. Something around that for that one match. So now we have a running gag in here. So every time we sit there, we speak about that, we're upset about it because he kind of messed it up. But at the same time, we're not mad at him for getting paid for that one thing, though.
I can't be mad at that.
Getting paid 800,000 before you get fired. That's a boss.
Because look, you still got to run me my money anyway. So look, if you gonna pay me 850,000 for that, I'm not mad at him. He need to teach a whole seminar based on what he did. That's all I'm just saying. So I'm saying.
I would have did what he did for $850, bro. Call me.
Nah, Duck, can't sell yourself short. Now, come on now.
Listen, the Morrison name ain't worth nothing yet. Give me 2 years. $850 to turn to $8,500 real quick.
Boy, Pat, what was your 2 matches, whether they were the best ones or the worst ones, that stood out for you at WrestleMania?
I think I'm gonna switch it up a bit. Instead of saying the matches that stood out, I'm gonna go with the moments that kind of stood out, because even though some of the matches weren't great, some of these moments stood out for me. Number one, Chad Gable suplexing Braun Strowman.
Oh Lord,
that was crazy. Yeah.
Like I always knew that Chad Gable had the strength to do it, but I feel like I don't think that Otis is holding him back, but I feel like he could do so much more in the ring and on the mic, and he needed that one moment at WrestleMania to make him stand out, and I think that was it. And then Hawkins, after Braun Strowman cleared the whole entire ring out, was like, nah, I'm going to show you why I'm just as good as Montez. Knock Braun Strowman down too, and they won the match. He pounced some favorite moments.
Brock didn't catch a break that match.
Nah, he did.
Brock can catch a break. He's going to get suplexed by Chad and then get hit stick by damn Angelo Dawkins.
That's the wild part. Dawkins played football. That's the wild part. You could tell. You could tell. He definitely Monty Browned him with the out.
He took it back to the gridiron days with that one, bro.
He definitely did. Definitely
when I
did.
saw that, I almost got up like I was actually watching the football game. Like, whoa! Like, damn.
Man, no bull.
Yo, I just replayed that match for that and won those 2 moments. And every time he flexed on them too. Like, yeah, I did that to you. And what? It's a shame. Braun was only a monster when he's beating on Roman, which is wild. But it is what it is.
Listen, those Fashion Nova pants he got on ain't doing him no justice, bro.
I had another moment too that was good, and it may be a hot take, but I'm gonna say this right now: Dominic Mysterio is the best heel in wrestling, period, right now. After that entrance at WrestleMania, there's nobody topping him.
I agree.
The man came out with a Rey Mysterio mask. He did the whole jail montage. Threw a drink in his sister's face. Like, that's how it's done.
X-Con Dom was the shit.
That's a fact.
I'm kind of blown because I originally picked Rey Mysterio when I was doing my predictions. I originally picked Rey Mysterio, and I was like, wait a second. I think he's gonna hesitate. I'm gonna choose Dom. And then I was like, and then Ray won. I'm like, I should have checked. I should have kept my original pick.
Don't feel bad. I chose Dom too.
Hey, I told y'all. Hey, listen, I told y'all Dom was going to win. Listen, you can disrespect Dad all day. As soon as you disrespect Mom, it's a different story, bro. Can't disrespect Mom and get away with it, son. It's just the rules, man.
Yeah, and then he said to beat him with the belt. And then Michael Cole going all fanboy. Like, that's right, Ray. Yeah, Ray. Whoop him. I was like, whoa, you sound a little too excited about that, Michael. Relax, man.
At least it wasn't JR, bro.
Now watch.
Yo, if it was JR, that would have been.
So JR back in the day.
Right.
JR, I still remember how bad he wanted Kane to choke slam Bischoff.
He's like,
choke slam him,
straight to hell,
choke slam him, straight to hell.
Yo, Jay had to say, calm down, bro.
Like, damn.
Yeah, I miss JR WWE. I ain't gonna lie, he made moments really what they were.
So speaking of JR, real quick, remember that random ass Skittles commercial that he did that he got overly hyped for?
Oh yeah,
he used to get real hyped about it. They tutti fruity delicious. They Skittles. Yo, JR had his moments, bro. He said they'll get hyped on some Skittles. I definitely do remember that.
Now he just
Vince made him do that. You know Vince made him do that.
Yo, look, and King would get hyped over puppies. So JR like Skittles and King like puppies.
Bro, the puppies was wild. Man, be like, what? Puppies?
Yeah, they had 15-year-old me running through the hallways through high school doing that. Rim, to the principal office, please. All right.
You was out here saying puppies, bro? Wait. Whoa.
Me and Pat went to high class high school when it was high class.
Oh, AKA. Let me find out. Rim was out here yelling puppies at everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Nah. Back in elementary school, you know, he was doing DX chops. He was saying, suck it.
Right.
Shoot.
Yeah.
He was getting suspended left and right.
Your son did a very obscene gesture today. What did he do? Wait, don't tell me. He said to suck it, right? How did you know?
And he been telling everybody to suck it, man.
He been telling everybody to suck it. Ron, any moments from WrestleMania that stood out for you?
Man,
or moments?
Omos versus Brock.
Match of the night. Match
of the night for sure, yo. Omos, you know, he tried to get, you know, retribution for the black community, and he did them bear hugs for like 30 minutes, but Brock won. But nah, seriously, all jokes aside, you know, the moments that we've all spoken about, the matches we've all spoken about, I'm big fans of. Man, I honestly didn't know which way that Roman Cody match was going to go. I just kind of wanted to watch it as a fan and just like go in blind, you know, not choosing whoever. I just wanted to enjoy the match, and it was so many moments I wanted to just like scream because I was just excited, because it's like, bro, like this could be the one. This could be the one. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, and I loved it, man. I loved that match. I love Bianca Asuka too. Definitely Rhea, Charlotte. I am curious, and I can't wait to see, you know, Rhea versus Rhea versus Bianca whenever that does happen.
They teased it.
They've been teasing it for a minute.
For like 2 years, they've been teasing that shit.
Fact.
At least it feels like 2 years. That's the match I was hoping was going to happen this year, but you know, hey, it is what it is.
I'd rather have Survivor Series.
I hope,
because for them the titles don't have to be on the line to see who's the best. Like there's very few people where the title have to be on the line for it.
But they're not doing Raw versus SmackDown no more.
I thought that War Games was just that one-time deal, just because it was the bloodline and it was them facing off with somebody else.
Yeah, but they was the whole show wasn't like Raw versus SmackDown. They retired that. Thank God, because I was over that shit.
Raw won every damn year.
Yeah.
And SmackDown sometimes be 10 times better. I'm like, what?
No, the first time they did it, SmackDown, I think SmackDown won it the first time they did it. Then NXT won it, and then everything else was just like Raw clean sweep
Raw clean sweep. 1 year, Raw just swept everybody. I'm like, the fuck is this? Mm-hmm. And it was supposed to be a whole thing behind it, but nothing happened. I say, yo, y'all tripping. Oh boy. One moment that stood out for me throughout the weekend was Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. I gotta give Melo his credit. He came through. They both came in at the same time, but as it's like two different paths come to the same destination. And for Carmelo Hayes to sit there and reach to where he did in that matchup against Braun, I was very happy to see that. Especially Trick Williams showed that he's not just a mouthpiece for Carmelo. He could actually go in the ring too, and his promo's gotten a bit better itself, because before he was just chatting and I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. A disappointing moment for me, and I'll say this wasn't so much with the matches. I felt like LA Knight should have been the host opposed to The Miz.
Yeah.
Because he's a bit more charismatic. He's a bit more popular right now than The Miz is. And you could have still put him in that same type of position and still would have got the same result. I feel like it would have been a bit more coming out for him, getting that exposure, especially as a host. You put him in front of for both nights, there was a total of 161,000 plus. So put him there. And then on that Raw, that SmackDown, he's a host, and he's saying, well, I got embarrassed, so where does that take him now? Because for The Miz, it doesn't do nothing for him. Miz is already established. So that was the downer for me in terms of that. The best matches, I'll say I agree with just about everybody here, was Rhea and Charlotte, because there's a history between there for both of them. Charlotte beat Rhea twice, so for Rhea, that was personal. And she took that match like it was personal. So I do believe that made that match a lot more better and heightened everything else. And Charlotte really said they did the damn job for her, because she really made Rhea look legit. The Usos, Sammy and KO, that was my favorite one, even though I'm kind of upset how that match ended. Because I can't get over this. And I'm about to go on a rant. See, Sami Zayn's the conspirator that's been the conspiracy since 2019, bro. There's no way. There's no way. You can't join a group. Now, hear me out, Lucious. Hear me out. You can't join a group and then get upset when all of a sudden shit gets real. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't go to a group and say, I need your help get my respect back. Because Drew's been whooping your ass all left and right. I remember because I was at the Garden when Drew Claymore the shit out of him. I was there when he got Claymore and the shit was loud. And then all of a sudden he needs his respect back. No, you can't do that. You cannot do that. I get it. You felt hurt, but you can't do that. You can't damn it, you just can't do it. I'm sorry. You can't. It was a hell of a match. The right team won. I will say the right team won because the Usos done 622 days. They done everything that they could with them title belts. 8-time tag team champions. But damn it, you just can't do that. You just can't. And it hurts my soul that he's messing up the whole family bloodline right now. But I got myself back now. I had to get that out of my system. This is the running thing we do. Roman and Cody, that's probably the one match that I thought Roman might have really would have lost it. I ain't gonna hold you. Last 2 years, I kind of knew, Roman's winning. But this year, I was like, oh, shit. He might actually drop the titles. And it wasn't until Rem and Duck, when we spoke about this, that he's at 900-something days, and he could reach 1,000. Now, that made me think, like, okay, there's a possibility that he could retain them and reach that 1,000 days mark. Because despite who Roman is and people who may love him and may hate him, you're not going to see another title ring like this ever. And if you do, it's not going to be for a long time. 1,000 days, and for 1,000 days, you could say I was the best at what I'm doing. You're not going to see that again. So I was somewhat surprised that he did win it. But at the same time, I'm kind of not, because at this point, he's doing his thing right now. He's firing all cylinders. So, but overall, Wrestlemania was enjoyable for me to watch this year, thankfully, even though it felt like Vince kind of booked night too, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, this is how I felt about the Roman Cody match. All right, so let me put this scenario to you. You ever, like, let's say you're getting ready to, you ask this girl out on a date. You've been talking to her for like a long ass time, and y'all ready to finally meet up. You get your nice good suit on. You make that dinner reservation. You get in your car. You drive up. You're like 5 minutes out. You about to pick up, and then you get that dreaded text. Sorry, please don't be mad, but that's how I felt when Cody lost.
It's that butt.
That's exactly how I felt with Cody. When I tell you that ending fucked my day up. I had to go to work the next day with that same feeling. I'm just in the car. Man, it fucked my day up. Reason why, because if it was any timing is everything when it comes to somebody's push, momentum, and all that. It was right there, and they chose not to do it. And they ended it with the same interference spot they've been doing for like the last 4, 5, 6 of his like Roman's title defenses is the same shit, and it kind of like it was deflating. It was deflating, really. You know what I mean? Because just like it felt like that whole build up to the end of the bloodline, things crumbling down there. It felt like that whole build up was for nothing, and then Raw after that kind of solidified it a little bit. And like it's just like time is everything, because I don't think part of me is afraid for Cody now. I know he's going up against Brock soon, but like part of me is afraid for Cody now, because if they didn't pull it, I don't think. Part of me feels like he's not going to be as over as he was at that moment. Because literally everybody was behind him that day. And it didn't get the job up. Can you imagine like if Goldberg went up against Hollywood Hogan, that time in Atlanta, and then lost? You know how deflating that push would have felt? Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. Like it was just like, what was all this for? So here's what I feel is like, if personally I don't want to wait till SummerSlam for him to lose the title, because I think reason why I felt like Roman should have lost, because he's already got this one accolade that no other superstar has ever had. He's defended the championship in 3 straight WrestleManias
and walked out with him.
Even before walking out, just the fact that he's defending it 3 separate WrestleManias, that's already like one of that's an accolade no other superstars ever have. So I don't give a damn about 1,000 days. You know what I mean?
You're right.
You already got that one accolade. What's 1,000 days? He gets 1,000 days. He's still not Bruno Sammartino or Bob Backlund, or even or what's his name? Or even Hogan. He's just gonna be like number 4.
That's true. That's definitely true.
That's another thing. Because there's like 2 instances if fans felt like he should have lost the title. Clash at the Castle was 1, and WrestleMania on Sunday was a 2nd time.
And what was the factor in both of those? Solo.
Yeah. Fucking Solo. Drop the mic. But yeah, bro. My thing is, man, I don't know if I could do a whole nother year with Roman as champion. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it, man. He's running out of people.
I agree with that part, but I don't feel like he's gonna have it. Somewhere during the time, I think he'll drop it probably. Because in another 60, because he's at 947 now. We're in April, May, June.
SummerSlam.
So yeah, by that time, no, he'll break 1,000 before SummerSlam. That's evident. 45 days, he'll break that before then. But probably, I would say SummerSlam he could drop him, but I don't think he'll have for a year. But I do know that they was thinking about having Roman versus Solo. Because you saw how they teased, they trying to slowly alienate the Usos out.
Yeah, they teased that in that video, the Goodfella joint at the very, very end.
Yeah, they also did that too. So I do feel like that's gonna be a thing between them two. Because the Usos are slowly gonna get alienated out. And you can see, you start to see that with Roman wearing the shirt. I believe, Rem, you mentioned that with Roman just having the shirt with him and Paul Heyman and Solo being close to him. So I could see the bloodline by summertime. They might be going all their separate ways or whatever. But yeah, I could agree with that. Roman for another year with the titles, I won't necessarily complain, but I do feel like it's time for someone to do something different because he's done all he can with those titles. There's nothing more he can, especially with the Universal, there's nothing more that he can do with them. Nothing more.
Oh, quick question, y'all. If it's, let's say SummerSlam comes through, the build is everything, and it's not Cody Rhodes going and getting that rematch at that time. If it's not Cody to take it, who do y'all think should do the honors and take the title from Roman?
Rollins.
You said Rollins?
Rollins.
Perfect.
I think it's going to be
thinking
Big
that
E.
too.
The who? Big E?
Big E. I think the reason why all these people have lost against Roman is because the person they want to beat Roman isn't on the roster right now. So it's either going to be somebody like fresh and new that we wouldn't expect, which would be random as hell, like Braun Breaker, but that would be kind of like well, damn, like we giving you the ball, run with it type of situation, or it's somebody that they kind of wanted him to beat Roman for like ages, but he hasn't been on the roster. Could be Randy Orton, might try to get him a tie with John Cena. Who knows?
Possibly Bobby too, because he never got his rematch either.
He never did.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be Big E. I think, honestly, as over as Cody is, I feel like if Big E were to come back on the Raw after WrestleMania, he would have got a much bigger reaction. And if he said he was coming back straight for the title, he never got to properly defend, I'd be for it. I'd be fine with him beating Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm. I'd be fine with Big E being Roman Reigns, but I don't think it would be him. Rollins, because he never beat Roman never beat Rollins, so I agree. Man's over here, but also another one, Bobby Lashley's another one, but also there's one fans have been speculating this one. Another one there, people were saying maybe Jey Uso takes it.
Yo, we're talking on that.
We've been having a conversation about that in like our little group, and a lot of people feel like he can't do it. Like he already lost, and I guess because he already lost once. But I'm like, people lose all the time, and I mean, what makes somebody or something believable or whatever is a build. You know what I'm saying? A good story, a good build can change anybody's perspective.
Yeah,
Jay never got pinned by Roman.
That's true.
That's
you
true.
know what? And Jay was the first. And Jay
first
was the
time
first
they
one
threw
to
the
get Roman's
towel.
first
Second
pin.
time he had to choke out Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny.
That's true.
And also, you go first, bro.
And I was going to say real quick that when Roman was in the Shield, Jay was the one that first pinned him too. Because remember, they was building Roman up where he was undefeated, not pinned yet. Yeah. Jay was the first one to pin him.
And on top of that, everybody's saying he can't do it. Them boys are related. They're family. He could pull back memories from when they was little kids and Roman been beating on the Usos since they was little dudes. You know what I mean? So he can really, really use all that pent-up frustration and mount one good attack and get that 3 count. So that could actually happen.
I mean, that's true. That's, like I said, anything's possible. Like, I mean, on paper, Daniel Bryan shouldn't have beat Randy Orton and Batista in the same night, but hey.
Well,
don't get me started on that.
Anything was possible
Don't get me
4
started
days
on
ago.
Oh, man. If it wasn't anybody, the Daniel Bryan leaving, that show would have been disastrous. He's just like, he's just that man. Daniel Bryan got the skill to do it. You know what I mean? That's the thing that separates him from like the big dudes. I mean, he wasn't gonna do that to Lesnar. That I'm solely convinced that John Cena getting squashed by Lesnar was supposed to be Bryan.
And you know what? I always sit there and say Roman saved Daniel Bryan from an ass beating that year in 2015, bro, because he just came back from neck surgery. No, it wasn't neck surgery. It was a surgery. I don't think it was a neck surgery, but he just came back from surgery.
You're right.
It was neck surgery. Mm-hmm. He came back from neck surgery, and y'all thought he's gonna face Brock in 2015 and win? Roman saved him from a beating.
But also, I think their biggest mistake, especially when they're trying to push Roman as a top babyface, is people were behind Roman at one point when he first started getting his push. People were behind him. Obviously, in like 2014, they wanted to see him win the Rumble instead of Batista. But also, the big mistake was having Daniel Bryan come back at the Rumble. That was a big mistake because as soon as Daniel Bryan came back, the fans weren't gonna have nobody else. They're gonna want nobody else win that match, and that's like favorite. And I feel like they knew that, but they just want to ignore it. That totally fucked it up for Roman. Even The Rock couldn't save him from that crowd. The Rock couldn't save him from that crowd.
The Rock can also save the DC universe.
Don't do that to Black Adam.
Come on, Ron.
I'm sorry.
Nah, do it to Black Adam because I'm mad because I want to see Henry Cavill as Superman again, and it's all gone.
Listen, it hurt my feelings too, bro.
Nah, I'm with it. If anybody should have left, it should have been the person playing Batman because
Here we go. Here we go.
Which one? Which one?
No, he's talking about
never mind. Michael Keaton back. Never mind. All right, I respect Michael Keaton, man. Anybody else?
Batfleck is too, man. Leave my man Batfleck alone.
Batfleck was ass.
Ben Affleck was a good. He was a good Batman.
See?
He was a good Batman.
He was going around with a blicky killing people, man.
He had to do what he had to do.
He was the Thomas Wayne Batman.
He was
Compton Batman. What you talking about?
True. He was
Compton Batman. That's right. He did. He had the bat blicky on him, bro. Bat blicky. He's shooting out batarang. He's shooting out bullets instead of batarangs. Oh boy.
Nah, don't mind me. I just hate Batman. That's all, yo.
I just love him.
Oh boy. All right. This was a very fun episode. This is very fun. Lucious, is there any social that anybody, if they choose to listen, if they choose to follow you, is there any social that they can reach you for those who do not know?
Yeah. If you already know, people don't know, I got my TikTok, Lou_nonsense. My Instagram is the same, Lou_nonsense. I have a Facebook page, same name, just Lou Nonsense. And I have a YouTube. That still trying to get as active as I'm more active on my TikTok and Instagram than I am on like my Twitter or my YouTube. But knowing the state of creative right now, or of all the apps and shit, the state of we might lose TikTok, then I'm gonna go ahead and plug the YouTube anyway. But also, if you want to. For those who can't make it to the show in Culpeper to see my debut match, we're going to be posting a lot of my Lucious Suede in-ring content is going to be on the TCW YouTube page, is TCW Online TV. That is another one of our social medias for the TCW show. If you want to see what we do, or see what we do, even critique what we do, or just watch local indies try their best, to entertain y'all as best we can. Come through and like follow the page and take a look.
Definitely we appreciate you for taking the time out your day to say they come chop it up with us. Because now we know, like, again, we can say we interviewed a big time star. We waiting for this. We waiting for it.
Hey, listen,
we waiting for it.
We on our way up, baby. We on our way up.
Look, Giannis said it best. They ain't go down, you go up. But we rooting for you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for coming out, for chopping it up with us. We definitely rooting for you. So we hoping nothing more for success, love, prosperity.
Oh, I gotta do this one time. Hold on one second. Hold on. First off, businessman, style consultant, millionaire, man to many titles. I'm keyword self-made Lucious Suede. Soon, you're gonna witness the destruction of the superstar and lay waste to all this greatness. I'm just playing, man. I'm trying to.
Let's go.
Smooth.
I tried.
Smooth. Did your thing, though. But again, we appreciate you, good brother. Always is a pleasure. Feel free to always come on, chop it up. We definitely do appreciate you for sitting and taking the time out your day and talking wrestling with us. We definitely do appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I know we didn't get to the rated R section today, but that's okay. We'll save that for next week because today was a very special occasion. So, we must have bid y'all all adieu because some of us have work tomorrow in the morning. FDK, always remember FDK. I didn't sit there and plug that in today, FDK. But always remember, yes, FDK. Pat, those biscuits were not moist, just so you know. But
No. We're not to close the show on that. Listen. No. Y'all ain't about to play these Popeye strawberry biscuits, all right? They was moist. No pause. They was moist. All right, I'm done. Ran over.
The business was good. I had them just the other day.
Yo, them joints hitting slow. Hey,
Yo, am I the only one who hasn't had them yet?
nah.
That's
That's
Gotta
because
go to your Popeyes now.
my man got served a hockey puck with strawberries on it. That's from New York. That's some New York Popeyes biscuits right there.
Stronger than pair of Timbs, man.
I had my Timbs on too. That's the wild part.
Them joints was made from Route 66s, bro. You ain't slick.
As we said, must have bid y'all adieu. It's a pleasure. Good night, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah.